and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a how I edit my YouTube videos video. I am super excited about this. This is yet another in my series that I'm doing on basically like how to create a YouTube channel and what this is all about. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into this video. It's going to be a lot of me just kind of talking and looking over my notes. I will put an overlay of me actually editing a video on some of the portions where I am talking about certain things so you guys can kind of get a visual. I do want to say before we begin that my lip color, just in case anybody is wondering, is the Burberry Lip Velvet Crush in number 65. So that's just what's on my lips, just to get that out of the way. We're going to hop right into this. I'm going to start with what I use to edit my videos. So I use Filmora to edit my videos. I've spoken about this before in previous videos, but I do use Filmora. I paid $60 for it, and it is a lifetime subscription, including all updates that will come with Filmora. You get to free update them. So I think that if you're just starting out, I would not recommend starting out with Filmora. I started out with Windows Movie Player, which is just what's on like any Windows computer. You get that free, so I would say start with that, or start with the Apple,
why can I not think of what it's called right now?
iMovie. If you have a MacBook, I would just start with those because I believe they're both free, like comes with the computer. So just so you can learn the very basic steps of editing, it will help you out in the long run. When you first begin, you open up your whatever software you're using to edit your videos and you import all of your content. So for me, that's my intro, my outro. I have like a little thing that says subscribe and like at the bottom that I put in every video at the end. You guys know what I'm talking about. I import that, and then I import any footage that I need to that is from that video, whether it's from my iPhone, whether it's from my computer, or any other external place, because obviously sometimes I have to film clips on my phone or whatever. You just import them all, put everything in there. That's what I do. You can start by putting your intro down first. That's kind of what I would just start with. Just put your intro and then put your first clip that you recorded, the first clip of your video. I will overlay some footage of me cutting clips right here. Now basically what that means is that you are just, say I want to cut part of this out, you're going to clip one piece, which means you cut it, and then you can cut the end piece of where you want it to stop, and then you can delete that footage that's in the middle, and then it will cut it and put the other pieces together. I know it's kind of difficult to explain, but I'll import like quite a lot of footage of me doing this over the top of this, just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's really, really simple and easy once you get the hang of it. I typically, a good hint for me is I look at a lot of the voice. When I first go through and do it, like I just look at the sound. So when the sound starts is when I know that I'm like starting to talk and saying my intro, so then I can just cut off anything else before that where I was like setting up the camera or whatever. That is my key. I'll also talk about that a little bit later, where I pay attention to the audio during my like final cuts that I put on my video. Once you do that, you start cutting down. So you do like a rough cut. That's what I call it. You go through, you cut out anything that you don't want in there, and then boom, that's like basically your video done. You could leave it right there if you wanted to. If you wanted to do that, you could just place your outro, add music and extra effects, proof watch, and export the video. So those are like the basic steps. Once you do your rough cut in the beginning, you can go back, and I always rewatch the video. So I rewatch the video and I listen for any pauses. I cut out anything where I'm like or so a whole lot. I've been trying to get better about that, guys, but I'm trying to cut out any of that. So you want to cut out any empty space, anything where I'm not saying anything, there's no noise, there's not really much going on, cut it out. After that, I watch it again. I know this is ridiculous, but actually scratch that. Make sure you put all your effects in. So I always go and make sure that your music is in place, that your intro is on, your outro is on, everything sounds good, adjust any volume, anything like that. Do your little like last minute things that you need to do. Okay, so I have some tips. Tip number one, give yourself enough time to edit, because it takes hours to edit, depending on obviously on how long your video is, what kind of video it is, and like how much editing you need. For example, this video that I put up on the screen where you guys were seeing me edit the video, that video took me an hour on one day and 45 minutes on another day, and that's just the editing. That's not including me importing footage, exporting the video, and uploading it to YouTube. So to export the video, it probably took another 30 minutes, so it was like 2.5 hours, and then probably another 30 minutes to actually upload it to YouTube, maybe longer than that probably. So that's like 3 hours. 3 hours over 2 or 3 different days, I think, but it does take quite a long time, and this was a pretty easy video to edit, you know, like it wasn't a whole lot, and by the time I had got to this portion right here, I had already done a lot of the editing. Okay, number 2, find what works for you. So when it comes to editing, like I said, it does take a lot of time, and it takes a lot of like you staring at a computer and just doing the same thing and listening to yourself and watching yourself and looking at yourself all the time. It can get really, really draining. Do it in small doses. Figure out which works for you. If you want to have like a schedule where you say Tuesdays I edit, Tuesdays from 2 to 3 I edit, if you want to do something like that. I basically just fit it in wherever. Editing is one of those things that I can do when I'm doing anything else. So if I'm just chilling like watching YouTube videos, I'll be like, okay, let me like go get my computer and edit also so that I can like get this done. It's something that you can multitask with, so I feel like you can kind of just throw it in there wherever, as long as your schedule's not too crazy. I would say do like 1 video at a time. Editing multiple videos at a time is very difficult. I do it, but it can get confusing, and just see what works for you. Sometimes for me, I like to get in the zone and I will edit for hours and hours at a time. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna edit like for 30 minutes and then I'm gonna put the computer down and just, you know, whatever, just to get my little editing time out of the way. So find what works for you with your schedule and your life and like what you can take. Number 3, if editing isn't your thing, do something while you edit. This is a good one because I feel like a lot of people that do this, they're like, I don't want to edit. Well, one, you could find an editor. A lot of them are not that expensive, especially like newer editors, and if you're a newer YouTuber, then you don't really need anything too crazy, and you could find a really like new editor to pay to edit your videos if you wanted to do that. I say if you don't want to go that route, then do something else while you're editing, which is kind of what I said in the previous one. I like to like watch YouTube videos or play music sometimes, or just have my phone and like switch on and off if you just don't like editing. I find that, and then it makes time go by quicker. But like I said, always go back and double check your edits, because something like that also means that you may have missed something in your video that you wanted to take out and you didn't. All right, number 4, gather all content before sitting down to edit. This is like, I think this is probably one of the most time consuming things sometimes, is if you have pictures, like links, or your thumbnail or whatever it is. Sometimes I don't always have all of this done before I start editing the video, but I do have everything that goes at least into the video. So if there's pictures or video overlay or text or something like that that I know that needs to go on there, like I always get everything together so that when I sit down to edit, I don't have to leave my space. I just have everything right there for me, and then you can just go ahead and get in the groove of it. Last but not least, don't stress it. Number 5. That just means don't think like you have to edit. Like I said, there are some days where I'm just like,
no.
And I am one that, you guys have seen my videos, I like to lay out a plan. I usually have a to-do list. I use my Google Calendar religiously, okay? I plan everything, and sometimes I look at it and I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to edit. I don't really feel like it, so don't do it, girl. But basically, I just don't want you guys to stress it, feel like you have to edit. If you're not in the mood to edit, don't edit, because I find that if I'm not in the mood to edit and I try to edit, usually it's not a good edit, and I just try to rush it, and then I have to go back and redo it anyway. So I say just edit when you're in the mood for it. When you want to do all the extra little text and like fun things in it, just do it when you're in a good editing mood, because like I said, it's time consuming and it's a lot. Wow. Honestly, I feel like I was talking so fast that this video is not going to be that long at all. So that is amazing. I just hope that I covered everything. Yeah, that's pretty much that. That is how I edit a YouTube video. I know it's not super in-depth, but I feel like editing is one of those things where you kind of have to like take the reins and you're gonna have to do it yourself. That is my take on that. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, give it a thumbs up. Make sure y'all subscribe before you leave, and I will just catch you guys in my next video. Bye!